I know it's not like you're not evaluating guys through the week, but are you almost intentional at times about reserving certain judgments you want to make about players or position groups until you can get into these settings, just because you're able to control some things, but it's also more live?
Yeah, I think so. I think, because you're right, it's how can you make it as close to game day as you possibly can? And so when those situations happen, that's when your evaluation is the most. So like even we have had, like this past week, we had third and short, goal line, full bore live out in practice. So I thought that was great to evaluate. 2-minute situations. I think that we can evaluate a lot of that because the clock and all the pressure with that. So, but the rest of it, a lot of those are going to be today. So that's why we put a lot of stock in, position battles. How do you guys perform? Because we call this preseason game number 1. So how you perform today, it's going to be a big deal.
How is this scrimmage different than the other ones you have coming up? Like, what's different with how deep you'll go in the depth chart, allocation of snaps, things like that?
Yeah, well, I will say this. So the goal for today is we're going to go 50-50 between the two quarterbacks. I mean, it's purely they'll both be with the ones the same number of time, two the same number of time, and they're the only two guys who are going to take snaps today because we want to get as many game-like situations as we can because they're both obviously either one of them they're the exact same age, they're both young, they need to play football. So that's the cool. So and then in regards to the rest of it, it's just we have a set number we say for each group, for each section, and we just make sure until we get to that point, then we move to the next one.
And you said you're going to let the whistle go for the quarterbacks a little bit, so let them run a little bit?
No, well, they're good. They're not live, so it'll be similar to, they just tag off on them. Yeah, tag off. And we do use for pocket presence, we use we use the flags because we're trying to teach them, because they are young. It's sometimes you get this, hey, the quarterback's, so everybody runs away from the quarterback, which I get why you do that, but that's not the game, right? So we're trying to, without hitting them, we're trying to kind of compress the pocket a little bit on them and make them feel that. So we put the flags to help them with their pocket presence.
I was talking to Cameron Perry earlier in the week, and he talked about how he didn't have a ton of offers, wasn't super highly ranked out of high school, I guess. What do you remember about recruiting him and kind of watching him in high school?
Yeah, we were just looking for more dynamic players, and I loved the burst that he had. I knew he was playing high-level high school football against really top talent in the country, and he impressed me on his ability to make plays in space. His ball skills were really elite, and I felt like that he had a burst to him that we wanted, and he's fast. So it was more speed and athleticism, a little undersized, which is probably affected, where he's being recruited to. So, but at the same time, we've had some really good players that are a little undersized here. So he fit the bill, and we went after him.
Coach Shelby and some of the corners kind of pointed out Kobe Minor as being a guy that's kind of stepped into a leadership role within a room without a ton of veteran presence there. How have you kind of seen him step into that role, and what's kind of allowed him to earn that respect? Well,
he's a very confident guy, but he's kind of quiet. And so when a guy comes in new, he kind of feels himself out a little bit as far as with the group. And the smart ones know not to say too much too soon. And he did a good job with that. But then with his work ethic, he's a talented player. He's got some length to him. He's got some good size to him, and he can run. So, and he came here I had that expectation. We felt like he was a guy that, had a chance to really, come here and do some great things. So, I think once that all comes together, and then you prove yourself, then you start challenging. Okay, now you need to start. And what I do with guys, like I say, you need to run that room. You need to be the leader of that position group. Don't worry about giving pregame speeches. You're not trying to, run the whole defense, but you be the leader on that side of football in your position group. And so he's responded to that, and he's a great personality, and he's a good player.
Were you calling plays in the scrimmage last year?
Was I?
Yeah.
The live sections, yes, I did last year.
So is this now kind of hand to
Yeah, I'm not calling him today.
So. Is it one of the kind of the tests for him as well, the coaching staff?
Yeah, I will say this because you want to see what they call, how they respond when things aren't scripted. And today's a lot won't be scripted. So yeah, it's a really good test for both sides, but yes, especially for Matt.
And part of that going into that, the new clock rules and all of that stuff,
yeah.
Is the first time you guys have done
Well, it'll be the first time we will have the mechanics of it, yes. So I'm looking forward to that part too. We had the Big Ten officials here last night talking to our team, going through all that progression. Obviously, within the last 2 minutes of the half in the game, it's the same as it used to be. But up to that point, the clock's going to run, so that will be a different. Yeah, so this will be the first time we'll have that done, yes.
defensively going into this? I mean, you've talked a lot about the quarterback and offense, but what are you looking for from the defense, and what are your kind of concerns at this point through fall camp about that side of the ball?
Well, first of all, tackling. So just because we haven't done it a lot, so I want to see us tackle during the live periods. And that's going to be a big emphasis, and to me, block destruction. So getting off blocks, how well can we do that, and how well can we tackle? Because to me, that's the essence of defense.
Anybody being held out?
Yeah, Christian Turner, nothing serious, but he's not going to go today. And Kobe Minor is not going to go today, but they should be back on Monday. So, and then Nico, one of our kickers, is nursing something, so he's not going to kick today. But I tell you, Alex has kicked really, really well, and he and Chris are battling as well. And so, but those would be the three guys that aren't going to go.
I know you had said before with the kickers that days like today could be important for that,
Yeah.
kind of replicating the live reps. How big of how tough is it?
It's a big deal today. To me, I want them to feel the pressure of the situation. You know, you're on the sideline, you're kicking, you don't run out there and kick 3 or 4 in a row. It's true game-like situation. So how they handle that and how they perform. So to me, it's just be your best when it counts the most. That's what they got to do. So yeah, today's a big evaluation day for our kickers.
There's obviously some weather today. Is that maybe a good thing?
Very good thing. Yes, we are staying out in it regardless, unless it lightnings. And then we go to the indoor. But there's going to be no lightning delays today. So lightning, go to the indoor. But yeah, I hope it rains. You know, we had a rain practice, which was good. The more that you get, the better.
Do you go live in those situational stuff as well, or just?
We're going live for the punts. Yes, we're not going to go live for the field goals. Won't be live today.
And then throughout the fall, do you do any with the situational work? You said third down, red zone. Do you do it live for those, or just for scrimmage?
We will do occasionally third and short. Usually the short yardage goal line we will do. It's hard to do that without being live. It really is. So yeah, it's a good question.
Ones against ones, twos against twos.
It'll be a little bit. It'll be mostly ones against ones, but you can see some, mix and match of that a little bit.
One more, we have it.
Can we call plays?
Can you call plays? No.
Birds, baby.
There you go. Yeah, everybody wants the deep shots.
All right, thanks, Don.
Appreciate you guys. Elio.